The evening sun was setting over the small American town, painting the sky in shades of orange and crimson. The police station was unusually quiet, officers working behind their desks, filing reports, and sipping their late coffees. Suddenly, the silence was broken by the heavy panting of 9 Rex, a German shepherd trained for search and rescue. He came trotting through the station doors carrying something unusual in his jaws. An old, dusty backpack. The officers immediately stood up, exchanging confused glances. Rex wasn't scheduled for duty, yet here he was, tail low, eyes intense, carrying what looked like a burden too important to ignore. At first, no one dared to touch the backpack. The dog laid it gently on the floor, then stepped back, whining softly as though urging them to look. Officer Daniels bent down cautiously, his gloved hands trembling slightly as he reached for the zipper. The bag was heavier than it looked, its fabric worn and stained as though it had been through a long, harsh journey. Daniels exchanged a glance with Captain Harris, who gave a slow nod. Carefully he unzipped it, the sound slicing through the tense silence of the room. The officers leaned in closer, expecting perhaps narcotics or explosives, but none of them could have prepared for what was inside. The first thing Daniels pulled out was a small teddy bear, its fur matted, its button-eye missing. A hush fell over the room. A child's toy, simple, innocent, but out of place in a backpack delivered by a police 9. Next, he pulled out a folded piece of paper, its edges yellowed and smudged with dirt. Written in shaky handwriting were the words, "Help me." The officers froze. Their eyes darted from the note to the teddy bear, then back to Rex, who sat patiently watching them with an unsettling seriousness. Something about his behavior suggested he knew exactly what this meant. As Daniels dug deeper into the backpack, he found a small plastic lunchbox, still containing a half-eaten sandwich wrapped in foil. It was old, stale, but it screamed of urgency. A meal packed for someone who never got to finish it. Beneath the lunchbox lay a worn pink hoodie, no larger than what a 10-year-old girl might wear. The officer's heart sank. The pieces were coming together in their minds, and the conclusion was terrifying. This wasn't just a lost bag. This was a cry for help from a missing child. Captain Harris immediately ordered the team to run a check through the missing persons database. Within minutes, the system pulled up a recent case. A young girl named Emily Parker, 10 years old, reported missing 3 days ago. The hoodie in the backpack matched the description from the report. A wave of urgency swept over the station, every officer now wide awake, their tired expressions replaced with determination. Rex paced back and forth, barking once sharply as if demanding they follow him. The dog wasn't just delivering a message, he was leading them to the truth. The team quickly geared up, grabbing flashlights, radios, and weapons. Rex darted toward the station door, looking back to ensure they were followed. They piled into patrol cars, sirens piercing the night air as they followed Rex's lead through winding streets and into the darkened outskirts of town. It was as though Rex had memorized the scent of the backpack's owner, pulling them deeper into areas no one had thought to search before. Every mile they drove heightened the suspense, every turn making the officers' hearts beat faster. They all knew they were running against time. Rex eventually led them to the edge of an abandoned construction site, a place where shadows clung to rusted beams and broken walls. The dog barked furiously, pulling on his leash, directing them toward a half-collapsed building. Flashlights cut through the darkness, revealing broken glass, scattered tools, and graffiti on the walls. Then, in the silence of the night, a faint sound echoed, a muffled cry, barely audible but unmistakable. The officers froze, listening, their adrenaline spiking. Someone was there. Someone needed them. They rushed toward the sound, climbing over debris, their boots crunching on shattered concrete. Rex was the first to find the source, a locked metal container tucked away behind fallen beams. He scratched at the door desperately, barking louder and louder and louder until Daniels and Harris pried it open with crowbars. Inside, huddled in fear, was Emily Parker, her small frame wrapped in the same pink hoodie they had found. Her face was pale, streaked with dirt and tears, but her eyes lit up the moment she saw Rex. She whispered his name, as if she had known he would come. Emily was quickly carried out, wrapped in an officer's jacket for warmth. Paramedics checked her vitals, confirming she was weak but alive. The girl clung to Rex, refusing to let go, whispering thank yous through her sobs. The officers exchanged looks of relief, their hardened faces softening at the sight of a child saved. But there was more. Emily kept pointing to the backpack, insisting they look again. The officers complied, unzipping the hidden pocket at the very back. What they pulled out this time wasn't a toy or a note. It was a small, battered cell phone with a video saved on it. The video was shaky, filmed in secret, but it showed a man's face, the one responsible for Emily's abduction. His voice could be heard giving instructions, demanding ransom money, threatening consequences if the police got involved. The evidence was undeniable, a direct lead to the man who had terrorized the town for days. What Rex had delivered wasn't just a backpack. It was the key to solving the case, saving Emily, and bringing justice to the monster who took her. And in that moment, every officer knew this 9 wasn't just a dog. He was a hero who had changed everything.